The contracting out of snow removal, you did what you had to do, but they're not doing their job, first of all, okay? Sidewalks have crusty snow and ice all over them. The guy passed down the sidewalk, didn't down his tail, okay? I have a pregnant girl walking back and forth up and down my little hill all the time, and if she falls, I will come after you. Second of all, you keep saying how you don't want to raise the citizens' taxes, and that the whole problem seems to be the pension plans and the benefits that our employees or your employees are receiving, okay? I get that. What I don't get is how much our water bill has gone up in the last 6 years. Can you tell me about that?
Yes.
Because I wasn't told prior, but you're making it adamant that you tell me that my taxes won't go up as long as these guys aren't working.
No, as far as the water utility 5 years ago, the city invested $4 million into bringing in a new safety measures to treat Campbellton's water. We were having a problem with chlorine, as everybody knows. Former employees here that are here, they certainly know exactly what we're talking about. That money was invested into the system, and we're continuing to improve it. It is designed to do what it's doing there now, and it's an ultraviolet ray system to make sure that the water we're drinking in our city is safe. Now, as you see tonight, that we're borrowing $1.3, $1.5 million to improve our wastewater treatment plant, because the plant is old and it's been built back in 1980. We're going to continue to upgrade every facility that the city owns. So that being said, and that's basically where we are. Now, as far as the pension, yes, to me it's a priority. I mean, I want to make sure, and the council wants to make sure, at the end of the day, that people who are now retired and people who will be retiring will receive a pension plan for the rest of their life. Not similar to what's happened with Fraser's or NBIP and Dalhousie. In the next 7 years, that's the contract, the city will invest $4.4 million into the pension plan. And we are committed, to making our pension plan as strong. As you know, we could have went to the provincial pension system. We chose not to because all of our employees, all of our employees, especially the people on the pension board, suggested that we should stay where we are and try to continue to improve our own. And that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Yep.
Second of all,
yep.
If the water treatment plant needs all these upgrades and it costs this much money to implant it and all that, how much money are we losing leaking out of the salmon right now? How many gallons of water per day during the summer are leaking out of that salmon? Can you tell me that? And how much is it costing our taxpayers for all that water leaking out of the salmon?
Well, it's a good question. I really can't tell you that. I know that we had a leak. I know that it was turned off. Our city officials, our superintendent is looking at ways to correct it. We're going to correct it. But the salmon on the waterfront is a very important icon. We're going to continue to promote it, like we're going to continue to rebuild our waterfront. And let there be no doubt that we're committed to improving our city, and we're going to do it the way we can with the funding that we do have.
Okay, my last question for right now is, if you have to cut somewheres, is there not other places that you could cut rather than these employees? Is there not other places that money can be pulled away from and put aside, or whatever it is, 2 months before Christmas?
Okay, let me just go back and give you a little scenario of how we got to this position. Okay?
Yeah.
We'll go there with
yes.
you. I think in mid-October, QB officials requested a mediator to come in and to sit down at the table with both the city and the union, right? In October the 30th, the mediator deemed there was no agreement, and negotiations were cut off, and if you can still remember, we had a council meeting on Friday looking to make sure that we had our snow removal in place. And on Sunday night, there was a last-ditch effort made I guess, deal with some of the outstanding items that Local 76 had a concern with. That was turned down by Mr. Woodrow, who is in charge of negotiations for the union. Okay, we have been told that by Mr. Woodrow that he is in charge, and that's fine. Now, and the scenario is this: that if Mr. Woodrow wants to resume negotiations, he can call the mediator immediately, or maybe he has, or maybe he hasn't. I don't know. But I can assure you, once we were advised by the mediator, we will be at the table negotiating.
Okay.
And let me tell you one other thing.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
Every permanent employee, as part of our agreement, will not be laid off for the 7 years of our contract. There will be no layoff. We're being told that that's not the case whatsoever. So, just to clarify some of the areas that have been a concern, this is how we're addressing it. But that will be discussed with the union, and we'll go from there.
The thing I have a problem with is that you come back to them on whatever, Monday or Sunday, and you say, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to reach that agreement, but we're locking you out anyway. What is that?
We had to go through a procedure. No, it's under our bylaw that we had to follow. If you're going to do a contract companies to do work for you, then under our bylaw, this is what we have to follow. Now, that could have been removed very quickly, but
that was an offer.
That was an powers to be. I'm not going to get into a major discussion. You know what I mean? I know exactly what took place. We're trying to make it as clear as possible. But what I'm saying to you now, if Mr. Woodrow calls the mediator, who they requested, to sit down and continue negotiations, the city of Campbellton would be available immediately to do so. So for those to suggest that there's a problem, there is no problem. But I want to make it very clear that every permanent employee that works for the city of Campbellton now will have their job. We will do what Dalhousie has just done. We will deal with the attritions, that people who go on, who are pensioned off, people, areas that we don't refill jobs, and as it sits, we will do it in that manner. We will not lay a permanent employee, a unionized permanent employee, off. Now, the second thing, if you remember back, 2 years ago, when the RCMP phased out the dispatch center, there were 6 individuals there. 3 stayed with the RCMP and 3 really had part-time jobs. The city of Campbellton brought them back, put them in the fire department, and as far as I know, they're still there, and they're being trained to move forward in the future. We could have sent them home, or we could have put them in other departments, but we chose not to do that. So, as you know, sometimes some of these things get difficult, but at the end of the day, this is basically what we did and how we did it, and we will continue to do that. Okay.
So as a citizen, and as citizens, you don't feel like...
Sure, we're just... No one wants to see anybody laid off. No one. I don't. No one does. But we have to stay within a...
If you're saying to me that the lockout, the 2-week lockout could have been removed, instead of going through this, why didn't you remove that 2-week lockout and offer them that, instead of putting this...
We were told by Mr. We were told by Mr. Woodrow, Michelle Woodrow, who was here from Moncton, as the negotiator for QB, said on Monday to us that they're not going to accept what we had to offer, and every item in the contract was going to be opened. And it goes back to the letter that he sent to us, saying if you don't agree with that, then we're going to remove all the other items off that have been negotiated. So
I get that, but if it was so easy to remove that 2-week lockout, why wasn't he even
Well, I had
have
to
that
do-
conversation.
I just explained that we had to do that under our bylaw to what we were doing at that particular time. Okay?
Then you say it could be easily removed, so is it?
No, we could have went back and got this thing done. Okay? But when we're instructed, we're not instructed, there's no one person handling negotiations for the union. And we abide by what he's telling us. So he must have had discussions with others, but that's certainly something that I don't know about. But he made it very clear to us on the Monday that this was going to be the reaction from the